Hello, and welcome to the Cameron Wellness Center's introductory CD. I'm Dr. Todd Cameron, naturopathic physician and co-founder of the Cameron Wellness Center. The purpose of this CD is twofold. First, to introduce new and prospective patients to our mission statement and philosophy, and to outline our foundational approach to medicine. For those interested in becoming patients, there is a homework list at the end of this CD. Providing accurate information on the first visit saves us both time, and it saves you money. Second, to provide the casual listener, perhaps not interested in becoming a patient, general information that may serve as a template for healthy change. I often refer to the type of health care I provide as foundational. I want people to build a firm foundation upon which they may build a sound health structure. And although everyone is different, there tends to be a few challenges common to all my patients. I'd like to address these common issues in this CD. So imagine clearing away unstable sand and reaching bedrock. Now imagine placing firm foundation stones on the bedrock. These stones represent the most challenging areas in the healing process. The foundation issues I'll be touching upon in this CD are: number 1, the mental, emotional, and spiritual. Number 2, endocrine, hormonal balance and stress. Number 3, exercise and physical structure. Number 4, nutritional and supplementation. And number 5, planning and implementation. But first, a note on my personal beliefs. I believe that we all come into this world with our own gifts and challenges. We do not have to change. It's not a prerequisite. We're all just fine the way we are. However, if the need or desire to change is calling to you, you may want to listen and do something about it. Furthermore, I'm of the opinion that life, the universe, and everything is far more mysterious than we can possibly understand. When natural phenomena are scientifically studied and statistical analysis of the data is applied, a normal range is established. Phenomena that occur outside this normal range are considered outliers, uncommon events that are sometimes unexplainable within the framework of our current knowledge base. I offer 2 currently unexplained events to illustrate how mysterious our universe can be. A young boy with multiple personality disorder was studied by Dr. Kenneth Pelletier at the Menninger Foundation of Topeka, Kansas. While in one personality, the boy was allergic to orange juice. It caused him to break out in hives. Hives are an immune response mediated by histamine, a substance released from certain immune cells, causing an inflammatory reaction. These reactions are not considered immediately reversible, and it normally takes hours or days for the inflammation to resolve. However, in this young boy, if he experienced a switch in personalities while having this response, the hives would immediately begin to subside. This mysterious reaction, seemingly impossible, has no definitive explanation. Another interesting study was published by a cardiologist. He designed a placebo-controlled, double-blind study to see if prayer could positively affect his patients. Some patients received prayerful intention while others did not. The results were statistically very significant. Those who received the prayers did much better than those who did not. Other researchers became interested, and the study has now been repeated a number of times, all with similar positive results. No clear, concise theory explaining this phenomenon has been proven, yet the study results speak for themselves. Uncommon things happen, whether we understand why they happen or not. Now let's clear away the sand and prepare a foundation. The first, and perhaps most important foundation stone to consider is that of our mental, emotional, and spiritual wellness. We must accept that we don't totally understand how this mysterious life works. We may accept that something much greater than our conscious mind exists. If we can further accept the possibility of positive change without necessarily understanding how that change may occur, we can develop a very strong ally: ourselves. We have met our ally, and it is us. Please take the opportunity to rent the movie, What the Bleep Do We Know? Most of the elements I share with my patients in this area are present in this film. Concepts such as the body and the subconscious mind are the same thing. Our thoughts directly affect our bodies, for better or worse. We think a thought and produce neuropeptides, hormones. We affect receptor site activity on and in our cells. We literally change with each thought we think. Our nervous system changes also. We can and do rewire or repattern ourselves constantly. We can consciously use this knowledge to improve our health. To lay this foundation stone, we may consider the following concepts. Allow time to change and repattern. Often, moving too quickly leads to frustration and feelings of inadequacy. Remember, slow and steady wins the race. To change thought and emotional patterns more easily and naturally, find methods that are enjoyable. The better you feel about them, the more likely you'll continue. Be creative. Have fun. Try a variety of techniques, and don't stop until you find a few that feel right. Positive thinking, affirmations, meditation, prayerful intention. You may want to explore techniques such as these. Be consistent. Become unstoppable. Consider that there are, generally speaking, only two carrier waves upon which our intentions and desires are transmitted out into the universe. These waves are fear and faith, and both are very powerful. And remember that the same carrier wave that we have transmitted on tends to be reflected back to us. This is one way we co-create our own reality, our life experiences. So begin to develop and apply discipline. We can reset ourselves to the faith frequency when we feel ourselves slipping into fear. This develops constant awareness and powerful thought patterns. The second foundational area includes the endocrine system, hormone balance, and stress. These areas are strongly affected by our thoughts and behavior. Many dynamic and complicated processes constantly measure and adjust our metabolism. Generally, a balance between the breaking down or catabolic process and building up or anabolic process is needed to maintain optimal health. There are three very important elements to proper endocrine function and hormonal balance: production, transportation, and utilization. The gland or organ must be able to produce the hormone or other active substance. If it is not made by the body, it must be taken, like thyroid hormone after thyroid removal surgery. The hormone or other substance must be transported to where it is needed. And perhaps the biggest issue is utilization. Once the hormone arrives at the target tissue, it must be utilized properly. A normal, healthy metabolism simply cannot be maintained without appropriate function in these areas. As I mentioned before, endocrine and hormonal balance can easily be tipped by a variety of things. Among the most common and dangerous is chronic and prolonged stress. Whether stress is real or imagined, it profoundly affects endocrine and hormonal balance. Stress causes an increase in blood sugar, causing an increase in insulin, leading to body fat storage, insulin resistance, and hormonal imbalance. Stress also increases oxidation and free radical damage, leading to cellular damage, DNA damage, early cell death, and increased risk for a variety of degenerative diseases. If a patient is on hormone replacement therapy, it becomes increasingly difficult to manage their case in the presence of imbalanced stress hormones. It should be mentioned that we were designed to experience some stress. Over time, we evolved survival mechanisms such as the fight or flight response. We want this response when the lion attacks. We need an increase in blood pressure, heart rate, pulse, respiration. We want more oxygen and glucose available to our heart, lungs, and big muscles so we can fight or run for our lives. But it must also be realized that we have never, ever been designed to maintain this stress response for extended periods of time. Yet, our modern lifestyle supports an environment where this commonly occurs. To begin healing, the stress cycle must be broken. The following are some ways to make a positive change in stress response and begin laying this foundation stone. Become aware of stress signals. We all have them, but they tend to be ignored or overridden due to societal or personal expectations and busy lifestyles. Exercise. This is a great stress buster. Give all that sugar in your blood something to do instead of turning into fat and upsetting metabolic balance. Find joy in what you do, and if you simply can't, then change what you're doing. Explore different stress-reducing techniques until you find what works for you. Yoga, qigong, meditation, dancing, watching comedies. Laugh a lot. If you can't, really do watch comedies until you really do laugh. Get plenty of good sleep. Take the first wave of tiredness into sleep. Don't override the impulse. Your body's speaking to you, so listen. We need deep sleep to maintain physical and emotional balance. Lack of sleep is a potent stressor. If prolonged, endocrine and hormonal imbalance is inevitable. Plan and take vacations. Rest and deep sleep are more likely to occur when you are relaxing on vacation. The third foundational stone is exercise and physical awareness. Humans are built to move. In the past, we didn't have to think about exercising because our lifestyle was active. In the modern sedentary world, however, we've had to invent exercise to stay healthy. There are two basic types of exercise, aerobic and resistant. Aerobic exercise, like jogging or biking, generally works heart, lungs, and the larger muscles. Resistance exercise, like push-ups, pull-ups, or weight training, can specifically work smaller muscle groups. Each type of exercise has very specific beneficial effects. Studies show that exercising as little as 10 minutes 3 times a week can have a measurable benefit to the body. Benefits of exercise include decreased fat and increased lean body mass, improved metabolic and hormonal balancing, improved strength and aerobic capacity, improved oxygen and food utilization, and positive changes in mental capacity and mood. Although the main problem in this area is under-exercising, keep in mind that over-exercising can be unhealthy as well. It may surprise you to learn that the average couch potato has a longer life expectancy than the average extreme athlete. Why? Mostly due to the fact that exercise increases metabolism, which increases oxidation and free radical damage, which in turn leads to cell damage and premature cell death. The end result is a diminished lifespan. It is important to balance oxidation and antioxidation by eating whole, healthy foods and getting plenty of rest. Furthermore, in order for muscles, glands, and organs to function properly, there needs to be an adequate energy flow through the nerves. A variety of things can inhibit this flow, from stress and muscle tightness to tissue injury. There are many ways to normalize nerve function, and the first is awareness. Choose to become aware of how your body is responding, and take action if you feel things aren't working quite right. In laying the exercise and physical awareness foundation stone, consider the following. Learn to take your heart rate by feeling your pulse in your neck or wrist. Count the number of beats in 15 seconds and multiply by 4 to get your heart beats per minute. A reasonable heart rate for aerobic exercise is easy to find. Simply subtract your age from 220 and multiply by 0.7 or 70%. That's 220 minus your age times 0.7. That equals a reasonable target heart rate. To increase benefits from resistance exercise, simply work the muscle to fatigue, to the point where you just can't do another round. To improve and maintain proper body structure and nerve function, you may want to look into methods such as yoga, massage, structural integration or Rolfing, craniosacral therapy, acupuncture, or chiropractic care. Please remember, when you begin any physical training, start slow and low. That is, slow aerobic exercise and low weight and/or repetitions with resistance exercise. Get used to it first, then begin to increase intensity. Approaching exercise in this way reduces the risk of injuries. And remember, enjoyment is the key. You must enjoy the exercises or you're likely to stop. But also remember that it can take a while to work up to the enjoyment, so give it time. The fourth foundation stone represents nutrition and supplementation. We humans have not changed much in many thousands of years. In fact, you could say we are Paleolithic people living in a Jetson age. Most of the work is taken care of for us, and large amounts of the food available to us is processed. Human fossil records go back 2.5 to 3 million years. We were hunter-gatherers until roughly 5,000 to 7,000 years ago. It's very interesting to note that fossil and bone record clearly shows an increase in degenerative diseases with increased consumption of foods made from grains. Overall, human health actually diminished as hunter-gatherer lifestyle slowly gave way to more modern agrarian cultures. It seems it's been all downhill since then. Fast forwarding to the present, we find that more than 1,500 of us die daily from cancer. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 2 men will have cancer in his or her lifetime. 1 in 8 American women will have breast cancer. Heart disease kills more women than breast cancer. Over 1 million Americans have a heart attack every year. 500,000 heart attack victims in America die yearly. 23% of Americans have high blood pressure. Roughly $850 billion is spent on healthcare yearly, with $330 billion on heart disease alone. 64% of U.S. adults are overweight or obese. 1/3 of the American population of adults has arthritis. Cancer kills more children than any other disease. By age 3, children have fatty deposits in their arteries. By age 12, 70% have developed the beginning stages of hardening of the arteries. 1 in 4 children is obese. Obesity and type 2 diabetes in children has doubled in the past 20 years. Over 8 million children have asthma. That's a 232% increase in the past 40 years. 7% of school-aged children are diagnosed with some form of attention deficit or hyperactive disorder. Less than 7% of children and adolescents consume 2 servings of fruit and 3 servings of vegetables daily. These modern health problems are directly linked to modern lifestyles and diet. To avoid harmful foods, include healthful foods, and thereby increase overall health, I found the guidelines put out by the Weston A. Price Foundation in conjunction with the Price-Pottinger Foundation to be a great help to my family and patients. You may wish to visit them at www.westonaprice.org. That's Weston, WESTONAPRICE.org. And although much more information is available by logging onto their website, here are 2 important lists to get you going now. The first list is Dietary Dangers. Do not eat commercially processed foods such as cookies, cakes, crackers, TV dinners, soft drinks, packaged sauces, mixes. Read labels. Avoid all refined sweeteners such as sugar, dextrose, glucose, high fructose corn syrup, and fruit juices. Avoid white flour and anything made with white flour. Avoid all hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated fats and oils. Avoid all refined vegetable oils made from soy, corn, safflower, canola, or cottonseed. Do not use polyunsaturated oils for cooking. Avoid fried foods, especially foods fried in polyunsaturated oils or partially hydrogenated vegetable oils. Do not practice strict veganism, as animal products provide vital nutrients not found in plant foods. Avoid products containing protein powders, as they usually contain carcinogens formed during processing, and consumption of protein without the cofactors occurring in nature can lead to deficiencies, especially of the fat-soluble vitamins. Avoid processed, pasteurized milk. Do not consume ultra-pasteurized milk products, low-fat milk, skim milk, powdered milk, or imitation milk products. Avoid battery-produced eggs and factory-farmed meats and fish. Avoid highly processed luncheon meats and sausage. Avoid rancid and improperly prepared seeds, nuts, and grains found in granolas, quick-rise breads, and breakfast cereals, as they block mineral absorption and cause intestinal distress. Avoid canned, sprayed, waxed, and irradiated fruits and vegetables. Avoid genetically modified foods found in most soy, canola, and corn products. Avoid artificial food additives, especially MSG, hydrolyzed vegetable protein, and aspartame, which are neurotoxins. Most soups, sauce, and broth mixes and commercial condiments contain MSG, even if not so labeled. Individuals sensitive to caffeine and related substances should avoid coffee, tea, and chocolate. Avoid aluminum-containing foods such as commercial salt, baking powder, and antacids. Do not use aluminum cookware or deodorants containing aluminum. Do not drink fluoridated water. Avoid synthetic vitamins and foods containing them. The second list is Dietary Guidelines. Eat whole, unprocessed foods. Eat lamb, beef, game, organ meats, poultry, and eggs from pasture-fed animals. Eat wild fish, not farm-raised, and shellfish from unpolluted waters. Eat full-fat milk products from pasture-fed cows, preferably raw or fermented, such as raw milk, whole yogurt, kefir, cultured butter, whole raw cheeses, and fresh and sour cream. Usually imported cheeses that say milk or fresh milk on the label are raw. Use animal fats, especially butter, liberally. Use traditional vegetables only. Extra virgin olive oil, expeller expressed sesame oil, small amounts of expeller expressed flax oil, and the tropical oils, coconut, palm, and palm kernel oil. Eat fresh fruits and vegetables daily. Use whole grains, legumes, and nuts that have been prepared by soaking, sprouting, or sour leavening to neutralize phytic acid, enzyme inhibitors, and other anti-nutrients. Include enzyme-enhanced lacto-fermented vegetables, fruits, beverages, and condiments in your diet on a regular basis. Prepare homemade stocks from bones of chicken, beef, lamb, and fish, and use liberally in soups, stews, and sauces. Always use filtered water for cooking and drinking. Use unrefined salt and a variety of herbs and spices for food interest and appetite stimulation. Make your own salad dressings using raw vinegar, extra virgin olive oil, and a small amount of expeller expressed flax oil. Use natural sweeteners in moderation, such as raw honey, maple syrup, date sugar, and dehydrated cane sugar. Use only unpasteurized wine and beer in strict moderation. Cook in stainless steel, cast iron, glass, or good quality enamel. Take cod liver oil regularly to provide vitamin A and fat-soluble nutrients, and use only natural, food-based supplements. It's important to me that my patients understand why food-based supplementation is important. Put simply, food-based supplements have the vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients in their natural state. The body recognizes these as food, and there is a physiological effect. When a nutrient is separated or isolated from its natural state, concentrated, and then consumed in pill or other form, it has a drug-like pharmacological effect. Both effects have their merit, perhaps, but for long-term nutritional strategies, food-based supplementation makes far more sense. If you would like more information regarding the food-based nutrition supplements I recommend, call the Cameron Wellness Center. The fifth and final foundation stone covered in this CD concerns planning. In order to get where you want to go, you need a map, a mind map. This is your plan. The main elements of a successful plan are as follows. In the four major areas we've covered in this CD, mental, emotional, spiritual, endocrine, hormonal, and stress, exercise and the physical, and nutritional, you need to set goals. Set short-term goals of, say, 1 to 3 weeks, and long-term goals of 1 to 12 months. Write your goals down, reviewing and revising them on a weekly basis. Keep your goals simple and achievable. Time will tell you if you have set your sights too high or too low. Then simply adjust them accordingly. Beware not to set your sights too high at first. I've seen this many times. And remember, slow and steady wins the race. Follow the 95-5 rule. 95% of the time, you're pretty much on task, and 5% of the time, you aren't. This built-in relief valve can make the difference between success and failure in reaching your goals. Allow time to change. It usually takes a while to see significant improvement. Find one or more allies to hold you accountable to your goals. Choose non-judgmental folk who can maintain an air of objectivity. Often, this someone has similar goals, and together you can buoy each other up. Be unstoppable. Be consistent. Never give up. Remember, intention is the key. We attract to us what we intend, so create very clear intentions. Understand beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can create positive change in your life. I'd like to give you your homework list now. You may want to grab a pen and paper. Giving me the following information on the first visit really helps me help you. First, give me a diet list, not a novel, just a list, of anything you eat or drink and the time you do so. Bring about 1 week's worth of diet. Number 2, give me your basal body temperature. This provides a functional assessment of how your thyroid hormone is acting in your body. This is very important from my perspective. Using only a glass thermometer or a basal body temperature thermometer, place it under your arm, not in your mouth, the very first thing in the morning, before you get up out of bed. If it's a glass thermometer, leave it there for 10 minutes. If it's a digital basal body temperature thermometer, place it under your arm, let it warm up for a few minutes, and then turn it on. Please remember, this should be skin contact, and women should consider taking their temperatures before, during, and after their menstrual cycles, noting when bleeding starts and stops. Number 3, have your intake forms ready to go when you come in. They are available through the Cameron Wellness Center. There are 3 possible forms to fill out. Upon request, my receptionist Suzanne will send you the appropriate ones. And the 4th, consider bringing a first morning urine sample. We may or may not choose to do some in-office testing. Of course, this will depend on your particular case. If you do choose to bring in a first morning urine, simply clean out a small container, no need to be sterile, and bring in only a few ounces of urine captured in midstream. Most importantly, for 2 days prior to your appointment, take all prescription meds, but do not take any vitamins or mineral supplements. If you are taking a whole food supplement, that's okay. Eat small to moderate amounts of meat, at least twice daily. This will ensure that certain amino acids needed for tests are present in your urine. If you are a vegetarian, consider eggs or dairy products. We've come to the end of this introductory CD. We at the Cameron Wellness Center would be honored to serve you. If you would like to contact us, our telephone number is area code 801-486-4226, and our address is 1945 South, 1100 East, Suite 202, Salt Lake City, Utah, 84106. From all of us at the Cameron Wellness Center, thank you for listening.